Get out, get around, call me out, but don't leave the room. 'Cause what I want and what I'm worried about came true.
Marchese at the Padres. Tough loss yesterday to the New York Yankees. Had it close yesterday, went to extra innings. Still a lot of bright spots
to pull out of last night's game, but last night's game to me was the definition of that's baseball. Overall, you look at the box score. New York Yankees only got 3 hits yesterday.
The New York Yankees only got 3 hits.
And out of the starting lineup, only one player in the starting lineup.
Only one player in the
Cody
starting
Bellinger.
lineup
He had 2.
got a hit. It was Cody Bellinger.
One of them was a home run. Trent Grisham had a pinch hit home run.
Trent Grisham had a pinch hit home run.
They scored their last run with the Manfred man on second without even getting a hit. It was 2 outs. Which I think that rule is a joke in general, not because the Padres lost. It's just a stupid rule. Padres had their opportunity in the first half of the 10th inning, though. You had your 3 highest paid players coming to the bat in the top of the 10th inning. All 3 of those players struck out with an opportunity to potentially take the lead in the 10th. So obviously that didn't really work out for the Padres. But again, it was one of those games that's baseball. You're going to get those throughout the year. We talked about it yesterday when it came to the whole managing of the bullpen. People were incensed about the Padres not going to Jason Adam 2 days ago. And my response was, well, you can't pitch him every single day. And just because you play all the right cards doesn't mean it's going to work out. Last night, Mike Shildt played all the right cards. Didn't work out. Sometimes you don't execute. Sometimes you don't get the job done. It happens. And that's what happened last night against the New York Yankees. I think you saw a great performance, bounce-back performance out of Dylan Cease. And we're going to talk more about Dylan later on the show. Hopefully we have some updates on Dylan Cease. It didn't sound too serious when he went out. It was a forearm cramp. The latest we got out of the Padres, at least from Dylan Cease when he met with the media yesterday, was passed all the tests with flying colors. But you saw Dylan Cease really feel his slider yesterday. I mean, he was unhittable. He left a fastball above the zone that Bellinger got on top of. I mean, the 2 home runs the Yankees hit weren't even in the strike zone. So again, yesterday was very much a day of that's baseball. And you're going to get those throughout the year. When you had 3 wins against the Pirates over the weekend, builds you up for a situation like this where you could lose 2 out of 3 to the Yankees. And I mentioned that on Monday after they won. I was like, I don't even care if they lose the next 2. They stole one in New York against a good team, and both those games were close. All 3 of those games were close. I mean, they were a couple of plays away from taking 2 out of 3 from the Yankees or even sweeping the New York Yankees. But as the mindset of the players said yesterday after the game, it's the same mindset you got to have as fans. It's time to flush it, move on to the next series. Get ready for Colorado. You take 2 out of 3 from Colorado, and all of a sudden, you got a 6-3 road trip. You just win 1 in Colorado, and you go 5-4. I mean, you're guaranteed to have a winning road trip with 1 win in Colorado. A Rockies team that's playing a doubleheader today, a Rockies team that's limping in, a Rockies team that even with the way their team is assembled and have had a little bit of success with Coors Field, have not made it an asset to them. So the Padres overall are in a good spot. Again, 23-13 on the year. Can't be upset about that. I mean, obviously the way that things ended yesterday, kind of a tough pill to swallow, the way the Padres played that game. I think they did everything situationally correct. But you got to be able to execute out of some of those players in the 10th inning. Got to be able to add on in innings. I mean, they were able to jump on Max Fried. Unfortunately, relinquish the lead after they got the run against Max Fried. They gave it the home run to Cody Bellinger. I mean, the biggest problem in that entire game, I think, was the walk to start the inning by Jason Adam, more so than the Trent Grisham 2-run homer. He left the changeup a little bit up. He mentioned that in his postgame, Jason Adam did. But if he doesn't walk the first guy, Padres still win that game. Most likely. So it was a mix of a lot of different things that didn't go the Padres' way. Bullpen gave it up again. The top guys in the offense were okay. I mean, they contributed early in the game, but when they needed them the most at the end of the game, they did not come through. And I think a lot of people are going to be like, well, Manny's got to be better there. Xander's got to be better there. Fernando's got to be better there. The thing that people need to understand, too, about these situations, I think we're blessed with Jackson Merrill because he's kind of a freak in high leverage situations and clutch situations. But you look at the 10th inning and some of those guys that we mentioned, if they are successful in those situations, so runner on second, runner on third for some, less than 2 outs, bases loaded, high level. I mean, all of those situations that played out in the top of the 10th inning. Players that do an extremely good job in those situations fail 70% of the time. I mean, sometimes you forget that. I mean, we've had the stats of Manny with bases loaded and what he's hitting in his career, and it's like 350. That means he's failing 65% of the time. It's a high percentage they're going to fail in that situation. The downside is they all struck out. Now, Devin Williams made a hell of a pitch against Xander Bogaerts. That was a hell of a changeup. You can't do a lot of damage with that pitch anyway. There's 2 strikes. If he takes it and it looks like a strike coming in, and he takes it for a strikeout. You have to protect there with 2 strikes. That was a really good pitch by Devin Williams. Sometimes you're going to get those. Manny not being able to put the ball in play with less than 2 outs where a sac fly would have got the job done. Yeah, that's another failed instance. But again, these guys are going to fail. They're not going to be perfect every single time. Just like the bullpen's not going to be perfect every single time. I mean, a lot of people wanted to see Adam come in 2 days ago for Adrian Morejon. I said, why waste him when the game was already out of line? You don't even know what he was going to do. And then last night he gives it up. It's going to happen. Mike Shildt made all the right decisions yesterday. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for the Padres. And so they lose to the Yankees for the second time. They go 1-2 in New York. Again, tough to play on the road. If you play as well as they're playing at home, the Padres are, and you go about 500 on the road, you're going to be in a good spot. And right now, they can take 2 out of 3 from Colorado, have a 6-3 road trip, be ready for the Angels next week at Petco Park, and then the red-hot Mariners, and continue on. But this is the month that you got to really rack up some wins right now if you're the San Diego Padres. Yesterday, overall, Padres lose to the Yankees 4-3 in 10 innings. Devin Williams got the win, now 1-2. Jeremiah Estrada takes the loss. That's a very unfortunate loss, by the way, for Jeremiah Estrada, because it's an unearned run. He doesn't get an earned run for that because it was the inherited runner at second base. The Yankees didn't even get a hit to drive him in. Sack bunt, sack fly, out of it. That's why the extra innings are kind of ridiculous in baseball. I don't know why, and this is maybe a topic for a different day. I'll ask my soccer guy here. Why don't they instill a point system for the standings in Major League Baseball? I brought that up on the roundtable. Did you hear that part of the roundtable?
I did, yes.
What's your thoughts on that? I mean, why not? The whole point of having the guy in second in extra innings is to prevent games from going on super long. Same with hockey. That's why they do a shootout. Same with soccer. That's why they have penalty kicks. It's not the best way to determine a winner, but they're trying to get the games going. So if you're baseball and you're trying to get the games going, you should get credit for going to extra innings. Get a point. 3 points for a win. Do a point system for the standings. Why is that a problem? Do that for everything else.
I don't think it's necessarily a problem. I think it would be more an issue of how do you do that with divisional play and how do you do that with conference play? Do you just kind of do what the NHL does, where you take the top 3 from each division, which then that would mean division realignment because there's only 2 divisions in each conference in the NHL? Or do you just do straight up the 12 best teams in baseball? That's the only.
Well, it's a point system. You can still do the standings the same way. You're just getting points in the standings for making it to extra innings. You'll have a wins, loss, extra inning losses.
The only thing you would have to really decide on whether or not you want to make it work is, do you want to do what soccer does, which is just, well, now with the MLS, you have the 2 conferences and they just go at it. Or do you want to do what the NHL does, which is the divisions? Either one of them. We're so used to them in those sports. I don't see why it would be such a big deal to implement it into baseball.
Just implement a point system. You don't even have to get that far down the way. You're going further than what I'm saying. Just the point system.
No, I know. I'm saying
that's it.
You just have to decide whether you want the soccer point system or the NHL one. That's really it.
With 3 points or 2 points?
Yeah, 3 points for 3 points or 2 points, or for like if you go into extra innings, you get a point guaranteed, and then you're fighting for the next one.
I think you do hockey with 2 points and 1 point. The 3 is going to mess people up. It's too much math. Although, that being said, some people are like, well, Chris brought up the baseball people can't fathom that. Baseball people are the most math people out there.
Not wrong.
Everything's about analytics and stats and numbers. I don't know why they can't do a point system. That didn't seem like that difficult to do. The division thing's interesting because I don't know why. In this day and age of baseball, you play everybody. What do you need divisions for?
It's a fair.
The NBA doesn't really. They have divisions, but it doesn't really matter. The NHL has divisions, but it barely matters. They're seating in the playoffs.
Criticism.
But why do you have divisions anymore in Major League Baseball? Why does it matter? If you're just going to take the top whatever teams, that will probably be in the next collective bargaining agreement, probably.
Oh, you mean this offseason?
Next offseason.
Oh, next off.
You got another year. You got 2026. You get to play baseball, and then the offseason,
and then we go on strike,
and then nobody has a job. Yeah, enjoy it while you can, Frank. But anyway, I think it's an interesting topic of discussion. That might be for another day. Maybe it's for later on in the day. Let me know what you think. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Again, the Padres yesterday. We talked about this on the roundtable. You'll hear it again, re-aired at 5 o'clock. And if you haven't heard it yet, you can go back and watch it on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. It will be on our page, on our podcast page. But I just feel like, again, guys, it's you got to stop. I see some of the comments. Somebody was so upset about Mike Shildt yesterday managing the bullpen. It's even if you push all the right buttons, it still doesn't work sometimes. And again, this is my biggest pet peeve with Padres. And that was one of the questions on the roundtable. So I'm kind of teasing it. You'll hear everybody's deal at 5 o'clock. And the thing is Ben kind of set us up for disaster on that question. Sense of what is something that Padres fans get wrong? And to me, my answer was, and let me know what you think. But we see it on Twitter, we see it on social media, we see the narratives out there. I'm part of a Padres Facebook group just for the laughs of the overreactions. I get the DMs from people. People send me some really messed up things for ridiculous reasons. But to me, the biggest thing that I think Padres fans get wrong is the sense of a perfect roster. No, it's not Xander. Chris took that anyway. I think it goes into the perfect roster. The Padres aren't going to have a perfect roster. And when guys don't perform, it's going to happen. You can't go find other players that are just going to fit that mold. Not when you've already given out the contracts. There are situations in which, this is who you got. Not like the Dodgers, you go buy your way out of problems. Everybody, anytime somebody does poor, it's emotional thinking, I think. That's why I got to try to rein everybody back in. Don't get emotional about it. Wandy Peralta and Adrian Moreau on a bad day. You're not just going to DFA him. Could you imagine if you ran a team emotionally, how bad that team would be? Oh, my God. That would be rough. It would be terrible. Be constantly moving guys all the time. Oh, this guy had a bad night. Get him out of here. Some of it I think is a bit, but most of the time I'm just like, guys, relax. Relax. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We're going to get to your calls. Finish breaking down this game with the Yankees and the Padres. We'll get you an update on Dylan Cease. He exits after his best start of the year. Had a little bit of a forearm cramp. We'll hear from Mike Shildt what he had to say on that. Get to today's sports thread later on. Talk some of the topics we briefly discussed yesterday. I might have to change my philosophy on who the most valuable position player is for the Padres. We'll talk about that at 12:30. Get you an update on the NBA and NHL playoffs. Got a big show coming up tomorrow that we'll tease as well. Lot to get to on the Braden Surprenant show. Mike, Jason, Kevin will get to you when we come back. Just getting things started on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, gang, it's Woodsy. Ever wanted to drink your shower water? With Eagle Water SoCal Smart Filtration, you actually can. Their cutting-edge systems give you pure, fresh water, perfect for the whole family, kids, pets, everyone. Say goodbye to contaminants that corrode your home pipes and appliances and dry your skin and scalp. Say hello to clear skin, silky hair, and happy taste buds with longer-lasting home pipes. Your family will love you for it. Join thousands like me who've upgraded their water. Call 760-350-3338 or visit EcoWaterSoCal.com today. Trust me, your water should be perfect.
We have a great pool and spa in our backyard, but my parents cleaning it themselves wasn't working out. Then they hired a random guy, but it was always dirty.
Dude, it's just algae.
Finally, they got it right by hiring GL Pools.
At GL Pools, we know you worked hard for your backyard, and so will we. Contact GL Pools today and mention radio for 1 free month of pool service up to $200 in value with no contract, no commitment. GLPools.com, local to San Diego County and family owned since 2006. That's GLPools.com.
For full details, including terms and conditions, visit unlock.com/legal. Call 1-888-780-6854 to speak with a representative today. Actor portrayal. Terms and conditions apply.
Lisa, thanks for having me over. Your new kitchen is gorgeous. How'd you find the money to do it?
We worked with this great company, Unlock. They help you unlock the future value of your home to get the cash you need today.
So it's a home equity loan?
No, it's not a loan at all. There's no monthly payments and no interest charges ever. And you can use the money however you want. We were able to redo our kitchen and pay off our credit card debt.
Wow, Jack and I could really use this to finally pay off our old student loan debt. How do I get started?
It's easy. Just give him a call or go to unlock.com.
Call 1-888-780-6854 to unlock the value in your home and get up to $500,000 in cash with no monthly payments and no interest ever. Use the money for home improvements, to pay off debt, or to add to your retirement fund. It's up to you. Visit unlock.com. That's unlock.com. Or call 1-888-780-6854 now to get started.
At Round Table Pizza, we craft the perfect pizza with made-from-scratch dough, a 3-cheese blend, and toppings all the way to the edge. Plus, try our new shareables, crisp mozzarella sticks, crunchy jalapeno poppers, and golden Idaho potato wedges. Whether it's a classic cheese, pepperoni, or one of our signature pies, like Guinevere's Garden Delight or King Arthur's Supreme, quality reigns king. Find your nearest location or order online at roundtablepizza.com. That's roundtablepizza.com.
Hello, my friends. It is Woodsy for Sedano Ford in La Mesa. Flowers fade, brunch comes and goes. Cards, they end up in a drawer, if you're lucky. But a new set of keys, now that's how you make it a Mother's Day to remember. Sedano Ford in La Mesa showing love with deals built for the queen of the carpool lane. Right now, get her into a Ford Escape or a Bronco Sport, just $219 a month. The Bronco Sport's got that adventurous spirit, perfect for beach runs or back roads. The Escape, smooth, roomy, and packed with tech she'll actually use, like wireless CarPlay and driver assist features. Want to go bold? The Mustang Mach-E is just $209 a month. Instant torque, all-electric power, and serious style. And keeping it running, that's easy. Sedano Ford mobile service comes right to you. Home, work, wherever. It's convenient, no hassle. There's no extra charge for moms, for everyone. Do something unforgettable this year. And when you go in, they're going to ask you, what brought you in today? Let them know Woodsy sent you from 97.3 The Fan. For more details about these offers, please head on over to SedanoFord.com. It's SedanoFord.com.
For Mother's Day this year, knock mom's fuzzy socks off with a digital photo frame by Aura that you have thoughtfully preloaded with lots of photos of you two. Name the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter. Aura frames come with unlimited storage, so you can share as many photos as you want right from your phone to mom's Aura frame. This is a no-brainer. It is so unique. It is so original. You cannot lose. Not only will she be grateful that it's not another sweater, she'll
$11:21 on the Braden Surprenant show. I had breaking news during Ben and Woods, non-sports related. New Pope has been elected. He's American. Pope Leo, the Roman numerals 14th. Pope Leo the 14th, newly elected leader of the Catholic Church. American Pope from Chicago, went to Villanova. Actually has some local ties. Came to San Diego not too long ago. Even said Mass at St. Augustine High School. So there you go. Some local ties to the new Pope. He's been here before.
So he would be a man that is known as the Pope.
Yeah, there you go.
The Pope.
Think he's a Bears fan?
It'd make it funnier.
This is the first American Pope?
I do not know.
I should know this as a Catholic and a Italian. I should know this.
He's not Italian. He's American.
I know. Well, the Italians know. The Vatican's inside of Italy. Even though it's its own country. He is Augustinian, which makes sense why he was at St. Augustine. I do know that if the Pope were ever to come to San Diego, I learned this when I was in school. There's like a symbol outside the mission, and that symbol says if the Pope does come to the San Diego area, this is where he would stay. Apparently they have that all over the place. So the mission is where he would stay. But anyway, an American Pope. This might be the first one. I don't know. Couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Went to Villanova from Chicago. There you go. Anyway, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. It's transition to the water bottle you brought today.
Oh, yes. He is the first American-born Pope, by the way.
He is? Okay. All right. Well, USA. So, speaking of USA, is there anything more American than Buc-ee's?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I was not. Okay, you guys got to see this on the YouTube. If you're driving around, when you get home, go back on the YouTube because you have to see this. This blew my mind. I thought Frank was going to pull out like a Yeti with a Buc-ee's logo on it.
Nope.
I did not think this existed.
Yeah, so
this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So I need the background story. How did you find this? Where did you buy it? Before you reveal it on YouTube, what might be the coolest water bottle I've ever seen in my entire life.
So I saw it first on TikTok. Someone who's like, I bought something that I should not have bought, but I'm going to love this thing forever.
I feel like Nate Taylor needs this, by the way.
I need it. I said the same exact thing. So I looked on Amazon. I found it. I think it was $65, $70 on Amazon when I got it.
You got a deal.
Oh yeah.
I paid more for this.
And I rationalized it as a pre-surgery gift to myself. So here it is.
Here it is. The Buc-ee's.
It is a Buc-ee's gas pump water bottle.
Gas pump water bottle.
And
is that the straw?
Yep.
Oh my God! It comes out of the hose. That is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
How nonsensical and over the top ridiculous is this?
That is ridiculous.
This is so unnecessary, but
Frank,
I
I know
will
you don't-
cherish this forever.
I know you don't drink. Think about the level of drunk somebody has to be to drink like alcohol out of that thing. There's got to be people that are drinking whiskey out of that thing.
Oh, 100%.
So it is for people that are driving around, it is a old school looking gas tank with a little gas nozzle, and on the top has the Buc-ee's logo on top of the gas tank. It's clear in the middle so you can see the gasoline, but you're just the water, and it comes out of the little hose. That is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I said the same exact thing and bought it instantly.
That is awesome. I love everything about that. I'm so glad you brought that in. I honestly, I thought it was like, okay, cool. Frank's gonna bring in some Yeti with the Buc-ee's logo on it.
Nope.
Does it have a handle like on the side?
No, it does. It does not have a handle. It's just the base is hollow. It's just hollow plastic, so you just grab it from there. And also, it's gravity flow. So it's like if you have it higher than you, and you drink out of the hose, you don't need to suck out of the hose.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Have you only had water out of that?
No, I had Gatorade out of it because that was the only other thing I could have other than water pre-surgery.
Pre-surgery.
Yes. I'm going to cherish this
A
thing for the rest
milkshake
of
wouldn't
my
work.
life.
It would look kind of sick, but it wouldn't work.
No, it would not. It would get...
Kids on spring break probably thinking about a hurricane or a hand grenade out of that thing.
You have to rinse this thing out, though, because the first time you have it...
it tastes like plastic?
It tastes like plastic. It tastes like styrofoam, so you have to run hot water and soap
I
through
believe
this
it.
for like 10 minutes.
That is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
It's so worth it. It is so worth it.
You know what? When Buc-ee's finally comes to California, I don't know why we wouldn't be their endorsers immediately.
Exactly. Right?
Frank comes in with a trash pan in his hat today, and he's got the Buc-ee's gas station. Guys ready for a good Thursday.
Yeah.
Do you mind it? Does anybody mind? Does anybody mind if Frank Marchese has a day? Let the man have a day.
Exactly.
Guy's having a great day.
I am chilling today.
What about boba? That'd probably get stuck, dude.
The boba, the boba, what are they? The I don't wanna say
Tapioca?
beans.
Isn't it like rice? It's like tapioca. What is it? Isn't it
No,
tapioca?
no, it's like the little bulbs of.
I think it's tapioca.
They wouldn't fit down the tube for the
probably
for the
not.
gas pump.
Same thing with like a milkshake or something like that.
Yep.
If I show up to work with a trash panda's hat and a fuel pump bottle, I'm getting sent home.
That is one of the perks of having this job.
Welcome to being entertainers there, Frankie.
Exactly.
They don't even look. They just be like, you know what? It's probably for a bit. We're okay with it. We're okay with it. We're okay with your phone calls as we digress. Mike, Jason, Kevin, Joe, we're going to get to you when we come back. If you want to talk about Frank's gas station water bottle, feel free to give us a call. That was the most impressive thing I've ever seen. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Braden Surprenant show rolls on. We'll actually talk Padres baseball when we come back on Standing Is Over Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. This hour 97 through the fans brought to you by Frozen Ropes San Diego. Hey parents, here's a message from Coach Kurt with Frozen Ropes. Is your child 6 to 12 years old? Our baseball summer league is the perfect fit for your player, starting June 16th through August 17th. Summer league includes 8 practices, 8 games. Go to SanDiegoFrozenRopes.com. That's SanDiegoFrozenRopes.com. Real quick before we get to the phone calls, you mentioned not a lot of people know who you are, Frank. You know what's going on with the to let everybody know about the surgery you had and everything that obviously worked out for you before you bought the or after you bought the Buc-ee's.
Yeah, that was
water bottle.
Very good point by Adam. Last October I had a stomach sleeve surgery. I had gone to the doctor wanting to lose weight, and he had said I'd only lose about 40 pounds naturally just because of the way my body is and the way I am physically. So I had the surgery October 24th, started the process of liquid diet the first 2 weeks before, first 2 weeks after, then it was soft foods for a month. And then like right after Christmas, I was able to eat normally again and have been eating normally, ever since then. And, as of this morning, I went from 394.4 the day I started the pre-surgery diet to, as of this morning, 268.8.
Wow.
I have gone far and beyond anything that they had anticipated with this surgery. I just went to the doctor last week for a 6-month post-op checkup. So down almost 125 pounds in just over 6 months.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Great. Amazing. I'm sleeping without my CPAP machine now. So
that's great.
That's fantastic. Got myself a cool water bottle out of it. But yeah, it's been life-changing, life-altering, and I don't regret it for anything. Old Del Mar Surgical, thank you so much to you guys, as well as Sharp Medical for doing the surgery. You guys were absolutely fantastic throughout the entire process and still are, as I still have a couple more doctor visits to get to this year.
How much are you at the place you want to be, or is there still more weight you want to lose?
Goal is 245, so we're almost there. But I graduated high school in 2011. I have not been below 270 since at least then. So this is the lowest I've been in a good almost 15, 16 years.
Well, that's great, Frank. You're looking great, by the way, too.
Thank you.
That's good stuff, and you're feeling good. That's all about. I tried to do that this year, lost some pounds as well. Not anything as impressive as what you've been able to do, and hopefully you can continue that on your way. And we're seeing it on the YouTube. I mean, you're just looking, like you can see it in your face and everything else. So big congratulations to you, Frank. Want to make sure that's the case. Obviously, you mentioned a lot of these things. A lot of our audience doesn't know.
Yes.
What's going on. So big congratulations.
Thank you.
To you. We do want to get to your phone calls, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. I was hoping he'd have a better day out there yesterday. It was a hell of a game, though. But Joe in New Jersey is going to lead us off today on the show. Joe, what's going on, man?
Yeah, buddy. How we doing, guys?
I'm doing all right, Joe. How about yourself?
I'm a little mad at you.
Oh, no.
I'm going to tell you why. You got to get on Tatis, Manning, and Bogey. Enough of the scholarships. These guys this is why they get paid big money. That run's got to score. That's a 99% chance that run gets in. We had everything imaginable that we needed. Lockhart's running. Tatis, the table was set perfectly. It really was.
It was. They have to be able to execute there. They didn't execute in that particular moment. Ended up costing them the game last night. Probably tough walking out of the ballpark yesterday. But aside from that, did you have a good time with you and your family?
Yeah, I did. But the Yankee fans, I'll say it again, are biggest scumbags on the planet. And then I got to go to work tomorrow, this morning, and hear it again a second time.
You know what? You know what, Joe? We'll see him again. We'll see him maybe we'll see him in the World Series. I'd rather win those games anyway.
They're not that good, bro. They're really not. They're a 2 or 3 player team. That's it. We're so much better than them. We should have had those.
It's all right. It's all right, Joe. I think they're going to bounce back again this weekend. Appreciate the phone call. Joe's right. Top 3 guys, highest paid guys in the order. You got to be able to go out there and execute. That's what they get paid to do. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. But at this point in the year and where everything's at, I mean, I'm not giving time to be able to do that. It's more important later in the year. It's more important later in the year than it is right now. I mean, last night would have been nice to take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. They're a couple pitches away from potentially even sweeping that team. And as Joe mentioned, they're okay. They're okay. A very top-heavy team. They're a good team. They're not I think there's better teams in the National League. And I keep saying that the Padres keep losing to American League squads. I appreciate Joe always chiming in. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Let's get out to Jason in Encinitas. Jason, what's going on, man?
Hey, Ben. Frank, congratulations, by the way. Sounds like you're on your way, man.
Thank you very much.
I wanted to, if you'll humor me, compare or make a real quick beverage container comparison. When I was in college, went to the Rose Bowl, we had a blender with motorcycle handles, and you'd make the beverage the blender go around by revving the motorcycle handles. So that was a good time. And suffice to say, it wasn't smoothies in that beverage, but in that blender. But Braden, I wanted to real quickly just talk about extra innings, and I just, for the life of me, I can't understand why more teams don't put the guy the first, right at the bottom of the inning when you're on the road, like the Padres were last night. Put the first batter, or put a guy on first base automatically, so you set up both the force and a double play. I mean, I get if the first guy is 0 for 12 and is struck out 9 times, you go at him, but I don't believe Shildt did that with Estrada last night. Put him on first, and it was a moot point because he hit the sac fly, but would have set up a double play if the guy hits one to Bogey or Manny. So wanted to see what you think of that. It's just odd that more skippers don't do that.
They did that when it first came about. Remember when they first started this, Frank? It was in the World Baseball Classic. They started to do the man on second.
Yeah.
And you started to see the strategy involved. And at the beginning, that's exactly what teams would do. They would either go after the first guy and then intentionally walk the next guy, or vice versa, intentionally walk the first guy and set up a situation in which you have a force play everywhere else. I just think that right now they determine that they think they got a better chance of potentially striking somebody out. I mean, last night, the way that they had the backup catcher come up for the Yankees, and you got Jeremiah Estrada. I think you take your chances with Estrada be able to go out there and get a punch out. I think hindsight, it's always hindsight's always 20/20 in those situations. But I understand where Jason's coming from. They used to do that a lot. I mean, you used to see it all the time. You used to see the away team playing for that one run, and then the home team, doing the same thing, but then also mixed in with intentional walks and trying to set up double plays and everything like that. So I could see the strategy there. Obviously, not a lot of teams do that anymore. So their analytics say that they should be doing something else instead. But that's just what they're playing right now. That's how they're doing it. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get out to Mike in San Diego. Mike, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on?
Hey, Braden. How are you doing today?
Doing a lot better than I was yesterday. What's going on?
So I got 3 things for you. Number 1, John Oliver just did a bit in his show about the whole minor league system, and the Trash Pandas were up there in his list.
That's
so I
awesome.
thought that was kind of funny that you also covered a little bit of the Trash Pandas today with the hat. And
well, yeah, Frank's got the hat on. Frank's got the Trash Pandas hat on.
Huge fan.
Big Angels guy, I guess.
Second thing is that the point system could work, but don't forget that all the leagues in hockey play an extra period before they go to a tiebreak situation like penalty kicks or shootouts and stuff. So the idea is there, and it's definitely worth taking a peek at, along with the conferences being dissolved or the divisions being dissolved and the conferences being kept. Now, here's my last piece. Why don't we play small ball in the extra inning? I understand it's Tatis, but if there was a guy that was going to be able to get on base with a bunt, it could be him.
Well, I mean, if I look at the last inning, I mean, and Mike, I appreciate the phone call. Here's how this plays out. Away teams understand that they're going to need more than one run to win because the home team's going to have that one run in their back pocket because that's exactly what they're going to do. If they only need one run, they're going to drop the bunt down, get them over, hit the sac fly, keep the game going. If you're the away team, you're playing for the big inning. Like you have to, and once I was told this, Mike, and maybe it'll make sense to you. I mean, it's like you let off the inning with a double to start the inning. If you lead off any other inning with a double, are you bunting the guy over in your next at bat? Probably not. If you started an inning with Elias Diaz and he hits a double to start the inning, any inning, and Fernando's up next, are you having him bunt to get to third? Probably not. I just think it's, and I get what you're saying, Mike. I mean, it's a very conservative play. And right now, the fact that the Padres lost puts in question whether or not they should have had Tatis bunt. But if Tatis bunts there and they still don't get the run in, let's say Machado still strikes out and Xander still strikes out, right? Merrill gets hit and Luis Arraez walks or whatever you have. Then you're sitting there going like, well, what would happen if Fernando swung the bat? You know, taking the bat out of Fernando's hands, I think is a tough play. You know, for the away team, you always play for the big inning, and the home team is we see what we got with how many runs they scored in the top half, and then we will do what we want to do. But you got to let your superstar swing the bat. It would have been good if one of the three guys that you paid a lot of money to have big situations can like at least put the ball in play. I mean, a sac fly by Manning game, you win. Yeah, well, at least you get, you put the pressure on the Yankees to go out there and execute. The fact that all three of them were strikeouts makes it even worse. Devin Williams made a good pitch against Xander. I thought Manny Machado's at-bat was the most important at-bat in the entire inning. He had to go out, I mean, at least with less than 2 outs, he's able to put the ball in play with a sac fly and get a guy in. I mean, I feel like the Padres, I'd have to look this up, I feel like the Padres are very poor at sac flies. It looks like they cannot get a sac fly to save their life. I mean, we get late in the games, you got a guy in third with less than 2 outs. It should be an automatic run. Put the ball in the air. Get the sac fly. But again, sometimes you play all the right cards and the guys don't execute, and it is what it is. I mean, I think you have to have, and I get what Joe was saying before. I mean, those guys got to execute, absolutely. But at the same time, you got to take everything back and understand the situation. Sometimes it's not going to happen. That's what makes this game insane. That's why the best team doesn't always win at the end of the year. It's a crazy sport. I mean, the Padres, I think, outplayed the Yankees in all but one inning during this week. And they only get one win for it. I mean, there were a couple of pitches away from potentially even sweeping that team. It is what it is. Tough series. That's why you play it best of 7. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We're going to get back to your phone calls in just a little bit, but what else is going on in sports? Here's the Sports Thread with Frank Marchese.
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk.
All right, Frank, what do we got today on the docket?
We have one less than we normally do, if I'm honest. It was kind of a slow news day through sports yesterday.
Number 1.
Dang it, Frank.
So we'll start. Yeah, I know, already a week in, and we're already getting
We'll give you credit.
on the job
We'll
here.
give you credit for the Buckies.
Okay, so the Buckies was number 1.
That's
so
right.
Number 2.
There you go.
The sweeper was the new pitch, taking the league by storm last season. It looks as though we have our new pitch for 2025. The new pitch is called the kick change. The new pitch has been prominent in the Mets rotation with Clay Holmes, Taylor McGill, and Griffin Canning using the pitch. The pitch is a hybrid between a changeup and a splitter and was first thrown by San Francisco Giants starter Hayden Birdsong last year. Holmes, McGill, and Canning are posting a combined 2.66 ERA over 108 and 2/3 innings and have been a pleasant surprise in a rotation that was expected to be one of the worst in baseball this season. Now, the saying is, necessity is the mother of invention. Could we see bottom of the rotation pitchers looking to invent new pitches to give them some sort of edge?
Maybe. One of my buddies is a pitcher. He doesn't even think any of these are real new pitches. Like, you should get him or his dad going on a sweeper and how it's just like a slider and everything like that. I think there's a lot of different changes that you can make to pitches that, Yu Darvish invents a new pitch almost every time he goes out there to pitch.
There's only so many.
So many ways. There's so many things you can do
to
to make the ball move and move in a different way. So, sure, different grip, different arm slot, makes it move a little bit more. Start combining pitches so it says some interesting names on the video board that makes people go like, is that allowed to be said? Talking about a change-up splitter, talking about a slider and a cutter.
Yeah.
All those. So I guess. Sure.
Well, I mean, it's creative and it's working. So
I think you just do it for some of the names that are dirty.
Yeah, that's
number 3.
Goes back to Matt Scraby with a big sack he had in high school.
Listen to the roundtable later to get that one.
That's right.
We all knew it was coming, but now it seems imminent. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts told the media on Wednesday that Clayton Kershaw is almost ready to come back. Roberts said that Kershaw has one more scheduled rehab start on Sunday with the Dodgers AAA affiliate, the Oklahoma City Comets. Kershaw threw 6 no-hit innings during a start with the ACL Dodgers on Tuesday and has his pitch count hovering around 90. Braden, you're a Padre fan. You've dealt with Clayton Kershaw the longest. Does hearing Clayton Kershaw is returning carry the same weight as it did even 5 years ago?
No. I'm not afraid of Clayton Kershaw. I know he's had good numbers against the Padres, but I think the last couple of times the Padres have played against Kershaw, it seems like Machado hits a home run against them every single time. He does not scare me as a offense. So he's coming back. Sounds good. Looking forward to it. Now, that being said, I'm sure he'll shove it against us the next time we play, which is not till later in the year. But that being said, no, I'm not overly concerned about Clayton Kershaw.
Well, there you go.
Number 4.
Virginia Tech football has a well-known tradition that started in 2000 when the stadium plays Metallica's Enter Sandman as the entrance for the football team. Last night, Enter Sandman was played at Lane Stadium last night, a part of Metallica's concert. They started playing Enter Sandman at 10:59 last night.
Nice.
And we know the exact time because it registered as an earthquake in Blacksburg, Virginia.
That's awesome.
Videos from the show are all over Twitter if you want to see the crazy scene for yourself. I've been to several concerts and many high-stakes sporting events, but I have never been to anything that registered on the Richter scale. That is insane.
The vibes there are probably great. I mean, think about all the Virginia Tech fans that have been to football games in Blacksburg with Enter Sandman. To see it live, the song live, and everybody freak out, that's got to be one of the coolest things that you've seen.
That was unbelievable. Goosebumps.
I saw some of the highlights. I mean, you could see the stadiums bumping.
I couldn't tell if that was from the fans jumping or if it was actually the stadium that was like waving and moving up.
Well, the stadium's
down.
moving up and down with the fans jumping. It's the give that it has to be. I mean, you can get into structural engineer terms if you would like, but that's the give that all those stadiums have in order to stand up during earthquakes and stuff. Like, they're built in to have those. You can get those reverbs. I mean, you can feel those when you're walking in like a multi-story mall.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You'll feel the shock waves on the even if it's on an earthquake. So, but yes, it looked pretty cool. Scenes look pretty nice.
It was absolutely wild.
Number 5.
All right, the Dallas Stars started their second round series against the Winnipeg Jets last night, and the star of the show was the same as the star for Game 7. Mikko Rantanen scored all 3 of Dallas's goals last night, including another hat trick in a 7-minute, 55-second span against the Colorado Rockies in Game 7 on Saturday. In the 8 games that Dallas has played in this postseason, Rantanen has scored 8 goals with 7 assists, averaging just 19 minutes and 35 seconds on the ice. The Stars have a great team, but if Rantanen keeps this pace up, could that lead to them hoisting the Stanley Cup trophy?
Well, man, Dallas Stars fans been wanting that. We'll see what they got. I think if you have a player that is playing at a pace like that, it usually leads to some heroic things. You see that in postseason play all the time. Guys play out of their mind and kind of carry the team all the way through. Dallas is a very scary team right now, and that's a good start to their playoffs. Winning on the road in Winnipeg. Hopefully they don't have to go 7 this time. But yes, I would say if he continues this pace, which is very impressive, they could be holding up the Stanley Cup trophy.
And I think that was without him scoring a point in like the first couple of games. And then he had a 3-assist, 1-goal game, 2 goals, 1 assist. So he has been on a tear, not just over these last couple of days, but over this since the series really started to kick off.
Dallas Stars. We'll get you updated on the.
It's not the Cowboys, at least.
Well, no. I'm a wannabe Cowboy fan. My Cowboy fan friends think the George Pickens trade is a great idea. I think it's a terrible idea.
Oh, good for them.
Talk more about the NBA and NHL playoffs in the 1 o'clock hour. Get back to your phone calls. Talk to Padres baseball when we come back on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
from the gas lamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
Noon hour, lunchtime hour, Braden Surprenant Show. A new pope has been elected. He's an American, which means the sports memes with the pope election is hilarious to me. From Chicago, Illinois, your new pope. What's his name again?
Is it Leo the 14th?
Yeah, Leo the 14th. It's amazing. Amazing. They had some account on social media had like the animated Chicago Bulls entrance where they have the Bulls running through like Chicago and stuff like that with Sirius playing in the background. He's going to enter out to this every time he has mass. It's just so funny. It's so great. I love it. All the Chicago references. So great. I'm just glad it got done before I go to Italy. I don't have to worry about the everybody being out there. They got that thing done quick. Faster than Shedeur Sanders got drafted.
You just got to make sure you get there before they put the Walmart there. Before they put the Walmart.
Oh, yeah. There's another meme. I think it was like Old Row or something like that. It's like, let's remodel the Vatican American style and then put up like a McDonald's and a Walmart on there. I love this one. Stuart Mandel put this tweet out. He did it this morning before they announced who the Pope was. It's the white smoke, and this is what he put out. Whoever the new Pope is, Mel Kiper will be furious it's not Shedeur Sanders. Hits every time. Every time. I'm a proud and devout Catholic. This is funny. It's funny. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Let's get out to Joseph and Santee on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, man?
How you doing, Braden?
Doing well.
First, I wanted to touch base on something Frank said. He said he'd never been to an event that registered on the Richter scale, and I think the Jake Cronenworth double to eliminate the Dodgers a few years ago, I want to say that one registered on the Richter scale down at Mexico.
I was here,
but
I was on this end.
He was at the radio station.
Fair enough. But going back to your small ball conversation earlier, you asked if you would any other inning that's not the 10th and you lead off double, are you bunting there? I think it's the do or die part of the extra inning. I think that if you're in the 9th inning, you get a lead off double in a tie game, that you absolutely should bunt them over, stack fly to try to get them in, for the sole purpose of the fact that we have the best bullpen in baseball. Even with that 10-run inning, we still had the best ERA in baseball for the bullpen. And you have Robert Suarez coming in the bottom of the 9th, the 10th, whatever it is. So if you try for the big inning, you don't get it. Now you're bringing Suarez in the bottom of the 10th in a tie game. And you know that even if you hold them, you have to go to the 11th and bring Estrada in anyways. So I think at that point you should, or the 9th, or, however it works out. But knowing that our bullpen has been as nailed as it has been, if it's the do or die tie game, 9th, 10th, whatever, and you have a man on second with no outs, I'm all for playing small ball and trying to get a run. Sure, maybe you get lucky, a big swing of the bat brings in a couple of runs. But I'm a big fan. Tony Gwynn's my favorite ball player, so I'm a big fan of contact. I love Luis Arias. And you're right, 1 through 8, you play to try to get more runs, but 9 and after, I do think you should play small ball there. What do you think?
I don't, because I don't think one run wins you the game. I think it's the same thing as like kicking a field goal in overtime in college football overtime or in football overtime. Yeah, sure, you'd have the lead, but is that going to get it over the top? And just because you have a really good defense in football doesn't mean you're going to stop them every time. You want to play for the amount of runs that put even more pressure on the team. Now, I understand what you're saying in terms of like, well, it puts the pressure on them to execute. But all the analytics and the metrics for all these teams say you play for the big inning in extra innings. It's more beneficial for you to do that than it is just to get the one run in. Let's say you do bunt them over, so that's one out. You got a runner on third. You get the sac fly. Now you have nobody on and you have one run in. And now you got to start over with 2 outs. So you're considering like getting the one run is going to win you the game. The other team's going to drop down the bunt, hit the sac fly, and now you're tied up again with nobody out, and then you do it all over again. So I think it's more of an aggressive play. I would say like what you're saying, Joseph, and the people that wanted to play like the small ball in that inning, that's more of a conservative way of just kind of like staying alive. That's to me is like trying to just keep the game going over trying to win the game. And so I think a lot of teams go like, we're going to go after this thing like we would in any other inning. You know, just because it's a little bit more higher stakes doesn't mean we have to be super desperate just to get that one run in. I think you start to do that after you get the first run in, but you want to try to make it as big of an inning as possible to put more pressure on the home team. So I think that's why they do it. I don't think it's the end-all, be-all way to do extra innings. But again, you already used Robert Suarez in the 9th inning. So you'd have to use somebody else anyway. So now you're using Estrada. Are you going to use Estrada multiple innings? I don't think, probably not. And you got in another pitcher. Then you're playing the war of attrition game. So I get what you're saying. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I just don't think a lot of Major League Baseball teams operate like that. They just go, we're going to try to win it right now. We're going to play for the big inning, and if we can't get it done, then we fail to execute, and we lose. So that's why the offense is always trying to get the big inning. I don't think one run wins you the game. I think you got to get more than one. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Here's Kevin in Chula Vista. Kevin, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, man?
Yep, I'm with Joe. It's when you have your big three coming up and you got strikeout. This is a problem, Braden, in that, and I'll get to my question, but I'm going to take the comments to lead to the question. When you have your big guns that come up, and we saw them disappear in the Dodgers series last year. You have a statement series, even though it's early, and I get all the cliches and all of the typical, it's early and all the other foldy roll we go through. But this was a statement game that was in their hands. Now, you can argue either way about going for one run or multiple runs. When you come up with no runs, the game's over. And so if you have this lights out effective bullpen, one run you should be able to protect if your bullpen is really as good as we think it is. That would be where I'm coming from. So here's my question. Is there, and you're a stat guy, is there a stat that is kept for impact hits or game-winning hits that are logged on our players?
They got high leverage stats.
It would be interesting to know on the high leverage stats, where does Manny, Fernando, Bogarts, Crony, where do they all measure up when it comes to leverage?
Well, your best player that you've had the last couple of years in high leverage is not on the team anymore. Do you want to guess who that was?
Probably Trent Grisham, for all I know.
It's Jerks and Profar. It's Jerks and Profar.
Right, no.
And then it was Fernando.
I get it.
Those are the two. I'll get you the we've been over these numbers before. And in their careers, those guys that you particularly mentioned have done extremely well. Necessarily in a Padres uniform, they haven't. But that being said, even if those guys' numbers are really good, and I'm pretty sure Manny's is still pretty good, even if he hits 400 in that situation, he's failing 60% of the time. So even though unlikely, there's going to be situations, and it's mathematically more likely for those guys to not execute than it is for them to all get hits. Mathematically, it is. So even though you're paying them a lot of money, even though you're saying that they need to contribute all the time in crunch time, even with the numbers that they have, none of them are hitting over 500 in those situations, which means they are all more likely to fail than they are to get the run in. And sometimes all three of them fail. Sometimes they don't. I will have those numbers for you. I can pull them up on FanGraphs in about 35 seconds. But the reality is, and look, I understand, when you pay a lot of money for those particular players, you'd like to see them execute. Who wouldn't? That happens a lot. I mean, I think you saw it with the Padres versus the Dodgers in the postseason. There's multiple times where in the last two playoff series the Padres had against LA at Petco Park, the top three guys in the order didn't do jack S for the Los Angeles Dodgers in crunch time in the series they lost. Sometimes they don't. You go back to 2022. They had the top three guys in their order coming up late in the game when the Padres clinched. They didn't do anything. It happens. Baseball is that kind of sport. I agree. Could have been a statement game. It's May. I mean, you got to stop viewing it like it's an NFL team. It's not. And when you start realizing, and I used to be this way too. I mean, you get emotional. You wanted to win those games, everything like that. Got a lot more fish to fry this year. There's going to be situations where those three guys go out there and dominate. And they go have a big night, and it pays off. It's not going to happen every single time. Unfortunately, last night, didn't go your way. You had a pitcher in Jason Adam give up a walk uncharacteristically, then give up a home run to a guy in Trent Grisham that couldn't even hit his own weight in San Diego. You had your top three guys not get the job done yesterday. They need to get the job done, but you have to have perspective. I mean, I could sit here and just emotionally just crush this team after every loss that they have, but that would be almost idiotic. And here's the deal. It's going to happen all the time. When the Padres play really well, there's got to be some time where there's some holes that they got to worry about. That I will say, and people are just going to be like, you are just crapping on the Padres because you don't like them. Fair enough. And there's going to be times like last night where they lose, and I'm not necessarily defending them, but just kind of giving you the perspective of the situation. And it's like, oh, you're a shill for the Padres. Well, I'm not either. I'm staying in the middle. I'm a fair guy. I'm going to tell you how it is. Yesterday's game was that's baseball game. You flush it and you move on. Baseball is a game of failure. You're going to have your top guys fail a lot. I will let you know what everybody has done in a Padres uniform in their career in high leverage situations. We will talk about that when we come back. Get your phone calls, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. I'm going to tell you right now, even if the numbers are very high, the highest they could possibly be, they are still more likely to fail than they are to succeed. You have to understand about that. Yeah, I mean, you have to understand that. That's why you got to flush these games when they don't go your way. Get after it tomorrow. That's why the baseball philosophy is we'll get them tomorrow. As somebody that's coached football and played football my whole life, I mean, I would, as a baseball player, it would be rough because I'd get so down on myself all the time because I wanted to execute at every level. And the baseball players that succeeded a lot longer than I did were the ones that could just flush it, didn't care. Like, we'll get them tomorrow. There's something to be said about that. Understanding the game of failure. And so when you have that mentality, yeah, it's going to suck that night. Got to flip the switch. Got to flip the script. And got to flip the switch. How are all the Padres doing in high leverage situations in a Padres uniform? I'll let you know when we come back. Braden Surprenant, Shildt, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Braden Surprenant. The NBA playoffs are here. I'm so glad this song came up before we dove into the high leverage numbers for the Padres. Since 2019. That's what I put to the filter on the splits leaderboards on Fangraphs. San Diego Padres since 2019. What's the significance of that year? That's when Manny Machado showed up to be a Padre. I think that's the era that you can talk about. So when you look at who is the best when it comes to high leverage situations, this is just all high leverage situations, not with runners in scoring position, not with 1 out, 2 outs, less than 2 outs, whatever it may be. We just played what his walk-up song was. Since 2019 in a Padres uniform, in just high leverage situations, who had the best batting average for the San Diego Padres? And you have to qualify for this. Plate appearances more than 30. At least 30 plate appearances in a Padres high leverage situation. Best average. Anybody want to take a wild guess? We just played his walk-up song. Local product out of Valhalla High School, Greg Garcia. Greg Garcia was 11 for 26 in high leverage situations 8 singles, 2 doubles, a triple, 9 runs scored, 9 RBIs, and 11 walks. Hit .423 in high leverage situations. Second best player on the list, Luis Arraez. Hit .367. He's hit .367 in a Padres uniform in high leverage. Third, Jackson Merrill. Fourth, Fernando Tatis Jr. They both hit .333 and .323, respectively. Jurickson Profar, .320. Donovan Solano, .310. Francisco Mejia, .276. Eric Hosmer, .273. Josh Naylor, .250. Juan Soto, .250. Hassan Kim, .245. Then you get to Manny. Manny's hit .230 in high leverage situations for the Padres since being a Padre. So that's not that great. I mean, he's done a better job in his career. I'd still rather have Manny up more times than not. But even if you go off of the best, I mean, do you want Greg Garcia up there last night? I mean, he hit .423 in a Padres uniform in high leverage situations. Even if you go off Jackson Merrill's .333, he's still failing more than 65% of the time. So again, even though like in a vacuum you want to see these guys perform at a high level in certain games, it's not always going to happen. Eric Hosmer did a great job. 8th. You guys ran him out of town. This guy sucks. Get him out of here. Still better in high leverage situations. Now, high leverage situations with runners in scoring position. Number 1 on the list is Jackson Merrill. Anybody really surprised? Anybody really surprised? Hitting .371 with runners in scoring position. Number 2 on the list was Jorge Alfaro. Hit .333 with runners in scoring position and high leverage. Luis Arraez, .333. Fernando, .333. Josh Naylor, .304. Jurickson Profar, .302. Greg Garcia, .294. Hassan Kim, .287. Eric Hosmer, .286. Manny, .253. 12th. Behind Austin Nola. Who would you rather have up in extra innings with runners in scoring position? Austin Nola or Manny Machado? Austin Nola has a higher batting average than Manny does in those situations. Who would you rather have up? I mean, take your pick. Will Myers in that situation, 190. I've already mentioned this before. I mean, Xander's terrible in this situation for the Padres. He was way better in Boston. High leverage runners in scoring position. For the San Diego Padres, Juan Soto with runners in scoring position and high leverage situations at $1.94. Manny, 12th on the list. You want to add another element to it? Runners in scoring position with 2 outs. I mean, last night his situation was high leverage, runners in scoring position, 1 out. That's what the situation was last night for Manny, right? And you got to deliver. That's what everybody's saying today. Got to deliver. What I'm saying is it's kind of hard to ask, for these guys to do it every single time. I know you want to, but I need them to do it in October. High leverage situation for the Padres with runners in scoring position and 1 out. Minimum 10 plate appearances since 2019. Your best performer was Luke Voit. 3 for 7 in 11 plate appearances. Hit a home run. Jackson Merrill's 2. Not surprised. Fernando Tatis Jr.'s 3. Hitting .386. Manny Machado 7th on the list. He's hitting .278. So if you look at last night's situation for the San Diego Padres, you had Manny up with runner in scoring position and 1 out. Manny in those situations in a Padres uniform is hitting .278. That's good. It's not great. It's okay. He's hitting .278. Which means he's failing over 70% of the time. So mathematically, again, you'd be sitting there going like, All right, well, he's more likely to fail than he's not. Out of that list that I mentioned, high leverage for the Padres, runners in scoring position, 1 out. There are only 4 players hitting over 300 in that situation. Luke Voit, not on the team, Merrill, Tatis, and Luis Campusano. Those are the only 4 players hitting over 300 in that situation. Here's the other thing. And again, I'm talking about the Padres in general. These are not situations where players do extremely well in general. Jackson Merrill and Fernando Tatis Jr. are your 2 best players on the team. They're doing it. But not everybody on the team is going to be able to be successful in this situation. You know who's better than Manny in this situation again? Eric Hosmer. Eric Hosmer at 286 in that situation. I just got to have perspective of the situation at hand. I mean, Eric Hosmer's been better in every situation that I mentioned, statistically, than Manny across the board in all high leverage situations. He was better than Manny in all of those situations in a Padres uniform. Guys ran him out of town. He sucks. Get rid of this guy. And this isn't about Manny. This is more of a perspective thing. You're not going to get the best results out of your players in these situations all the time. You would like that. But in a game of failure, it's not always going to happen. That's the whole point of this exercise. People want to ask what Juan Soto did. Juan Soto in high leverage situations with runners in scoring position and 1 out in a Padres uniform at 278. Same as Manny, same as Austin Nola. Is anybody going to spend money on Austin Nola over those 2 guys? No. I mean, it's such a small fragment of their game. Yes, you want these guys performing at a high level in high leverage situations when the game matters, but that doesn't mean they're always going to do that. Does anybody want Austin Nola back on the team? He's done the same thing Manny's done in all these situations in a Padres uniform. Smaller sample size? No, nobody wants that. But just looking at the perspective, again, you would expect those guys to perform at this level. Sometimes it doesn't work. Fernando has been a top 3 player in every statistical category I just laid out in this segment. Yet he struck out last night. In his particular situation, it was high leverage. There's runners in scoring position, and he actually had no outs. In his situation, as I wait for Fangraphs to load, Fernando is hitting 316, which means he still fails almost 70% of the time. He has struck out 7 times in those situations. And here's the other thing. All of these particular situations that I have laid out all have, most of the at-bats in there have been less than like 50 at-bats. Do you ever evaluate a player on 50 at-bats or less? No. How many at-bats usually? Like 300. It's such a small, minute, statistical grouping that you look at these stats and you can say what you want. I mean, but as time progresses, they're probably going to get better at these situations. It's a small sample size. If you look at everybody in that situation, high leverage, runners in scoring position, no outs. Arise is hitting 444 for the Padres. Profar hit 393. Cronenworth 333. Machado 325. Fernando 316. Nola 222. Bogarts 214. Trent Grisham 211. Hosmer actually did worse with no outs than he did with multiple outs. I mean, it's a crazy sport, guys. It's a crazy sport. Eric Hosmer was more clutch with more outs than he was with less outs in the statistical analysis. One of your best players is Greg Garcia. Again, it's going to happen. You can't ask for these guys to do it all the time. Even though you would want to. Everybody wants to extend Eric Hosmer now in the chat. We've turned everybody. Everybody wants Eric Hosmer back in the team. I mean, you could find like different areas to point out your. This is the whole thing why I've defended Xander for so long. I mean, you can like nitpick on different situations that he's good at and that he's not. That's what makes baseball so argumentative all the time. You look for stats that you think are important that fit your narrative that determine that try to prove your point. That's why you have all these confrontations in baseball with statistics. I mean, you look at all the numbers. I mean, I could go with the high leverage San Diego Padres since 2019. Runners in scoring position with 2 outs. I mean, that's probably the most. That's the Xander Bogaerts situation last night, is it not? In fact, I could even do bases loaded because he had bases loaded, 2 outs, high leverage for the Padres. Your best batter still Greg Garcia. It's still Greg Garcia. Then Jackson Merrill. And then you know who's third on the list? I'm going to blow everybody's line. High leverage situation. Did you see this, Frank? You're going to smile. This is great. High leverage situation.
Because I think I know the answer.
High leverage for the Padres since 2019 with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Who's your third best? Who do you think your third best hitter is?
Would it happen to be a first baseman that came over from Kansas
It's not.
City? Oh, wow. It's not Hosmer.
It's a catcher that's won a World Series. He hit 400 with the bases loaded and 2 outs in high leverage situation for the Padres. His name is Austin freaking Hedges. The guy couldn't even hit water if he fell out of a boat more times than not. He's the third best Padre since 2019. 2 outs, bases loaded, high leverage situation. Would you consider Austin Hedges to be more clutch than Manny Machado? Statistically, Manny Machado in that exact same situation, right? Last night, everybody's so upset about Xander not getting a hit. Same situation in his career, Manny Machado. And this is not a Manny Machado dog right now. This is just to put it in perspective of how difficult this is for a lot of players in baseball. Since 2019, when Manny became a Padre, in a Padres uniform, with 2 outs and the bases loaded, in high leverage situations, Manny Machado has had 86 plate appearances with this particular situation. Guess what his batting average is? Guess. Take a wild guess.
Manny's batting average with the bases loaded.
Bases loaded, high leverage, 2 outs. Very specific. Guess what his batting average is?
238.
It's a $179. So again, I mean, you can say what you want about some of these players. You know what Eric Hosmer hit? 318. 318. We are well over a break. Adam's outside going, why aren't you going to a break? I got more of those numbers that we could break down, but it's insane. I mean, somebody in the chat's like, well, you got a pinch hit for Xander. With who? Let's go put Luis Camposano in there. He's 0-53 with that situation. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Kevin's got me on a numbers run right here. We'll talk more about it when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number one sports station, 97.2 The Fan. 12:41 on the Braden Surprenant Show. Baseball coverage on 97.7 through the Fan, presented by T-Mobile. Head to T-Mobile.com and get a great deal on an iPhone 16 Pro. This entire topic of conversation is basically to show that, one, these guys aren't going to be perfect. And two, it's such a finite amount of at-bats that it's really, you can't really evaluate it too much. Best at WRC Plus with high leverage Padres, 2 outs, bases loaded. Rougned Odor. 723 WRC Plus. Take that for what it's worth. Rougned Odor. The minimum plate appearances make this a lot more obtainable to deal with. I mean, some of them are ridiculous, but like Alfaro's got like 2 at-bats and everything like that. But overall, you look at these numbers, and again, with the high leverage situation, it's a hard situation to go out and perform it. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get out to Steve in Poway. Steve, what's going on, man?
Hey, Braden. Listen, I'm kind of laughing as you're doing this because you're just making my point 100%. I've known that about Manny the whole time he's been here, even though I didn't know the stats. I knew that from just watching the game, but he's a choker. Always known that. I'm glad that you brought some stats to prove that. You know, he's the best 2-out, nobody on base hitter probably in baseball. But anyway, my point is when we went to extra innings, you know, you got Fernando who's in a funk right now. I don't know what's wrong with him. But anyway, you get him to sacrifice over to third base. You got the best contact hitter in baseball coming up next. But you know there's going to be contact. And you got a pass runner at third base. You bring that run in. I'm going to ask you this question. You talk about leverage. Do you think bringing that run into that inning puts more pressure on the Yankees or less pressure?
I think it brings more pressure. But again, these teams disagree with you, Steve. They disagree with you. They think analytically they're going to play for the big inning. They think that's the move to go.
Okay, but what about analytics a couple of years ago when they said no more sacrifices, no more hit and runs, all about home runs? They've changed that whole dynamic of baseball. Just like this, you're not a bunch of robots out there. You just proved the point that these guys under pressure trying to get hits don't have good averages, but you don't have to get a hit. Arise doesn't have to get a hit in that situation. It basically just has to make contact, and more times than not, probably bring that run in. When Manny came up to bat, here's what I thought. I swear this is my thought. I hope he strikes out because he's another guy that needs more double plays, him and Bogarts than anybody, because I wanted Merrill to be in that situation. And when you struck out, I'm going, good. The only problem was, you know, it doesn't always work out because Merrill got hit by a pitch. Now we got the second worst high leverage guy coming up to the plate. So trying to score a run there by getting a hit ended up being a disaster. And they could have, and there's no guarantee that Manny would have got the ball down and we would have got the guy over, but I think you get a lot better average doing that than the other way around. And then you put pressure on that team to score a run. It's a lot different than when they don't have any pressure to score a run.
Well, there's multiple ways to be able to do it, Steve. Major League Baseball disagrees with you, but that's just how they view it. They think it's better off to play for the big inning. I see both sides. I think for a team that likes to put pressure on people, it's not a bad idea to get the first run. But that being said, like, again, it didn't work, so today is Monday morning quarterback, like they should have done the other thing. I'm in a position of, well, a little bit of understanding of why they did what they did. And just because it didn't work doesn't mean it's a bad idea. I think it's easy to say that. Oh, my God. Frank, did you just put the Rockies game on? Does that say what I think it says?
Do you want to watch Kansas City, Chicago?
No, I don't. I'm not upset that you put the game on.
Oh,
is that
yeah, that is real.
That's the score.
This is live. This is what's happening now. Yes.
The Detroit Lions are up 7-0.
The who?
The Detroit Lions are up 7-0 on the Denver Broncos.
Oh, okay.
Early in the contest. 7-0.
Going in top 3.
This needs to be a series where the Padres just put up a ton of runs. I understand what a lot of people are saying. I think the old school version of it is get the guy over, get him in, get the run. I just don't. I understand where the Padres are coming from in Major League Baseball in a sense that you play for the big inning. Most people I know, younger people, are saying we're playing for the big inning. Most people I know that are a little bit older, that are more traditional, are like, let's get the run in. It's a little bit about perspective, but the reality is, I think you have to evaluate these things based not hindsight of what happened and what didn't happen, but in the moment that it was going down. I don't necessarily think I don't care what type of funk Fernando might be in. I don't care if he's 0 for the last 25. I'm letting that guy swing. He's your best player. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. I think you let guys like Jackson Merrill swing. I can't imagine you like telling Manny Machado to drop down a bunt. Let him swing. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. As bad as a lot of these stats are in terms of high leverage, that's how like most teams are. Now, if I include the numbers, this is just since 2019. Xander Bogaerts and Manny Machado did really well in high leverage situations in Boston and Baltimore. Really well. Haven't done it in a Padres uniform, which I think leads to the notion about some of these things. But again, with like Steve, like he flat out said he was rooting for Manny to strike out in that spot because he wanted to see Jackson Merrill up next. Like, come on, man. Just hope that he does well. Padres are what, a game and a half out of first place right now, Frank? What are we, a game and a half out?
Yes, game and a half.
Game and a half out of the best record in baseball? Tied for the second best record in baseball? Well, I mean, we're acting like it's the 2013 Padres right now with some of the comments after last night's game. You guys want to go back to 2013? Want to have that roster out there? Don't make me put up the high leverage situational numbers with that team. The 2014 team. Juan Soto was awful in those situations, by the way. Juan Soto with bases loaded, 2 outs, high leverage in a Padres uniform was the second worst Padre. Truly remarkable. He hit .073. People go like, well, the prices were cheaper. Would you rather just watch a bad team with cheaper ticket prices? I mean, come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Give me a break.
It's called grasping at straws.
We're grasping at straws is exactly what we're doing. We would rather, well, if the game's cheaper, I don't really care if the team sucks or not. Come on. What are we doing? What are we doing? Does Dexter want to play the game or does he want to call in?
Dexter wants to call in.
All right, Dexter. What do you got for us today?
Okay, I have a remarkably goofy potential solution to the situation. You ready?
Well, knowing you, Dexter, I know it's going to be outside the box, so I am ready I'm all ears.
Okay, so the Ghost Runner thing. I'm good with the Ghost Runner, but instead of like in the 10th inning, we start the Ghost Runner at second base, we start him at first base. And then if it goes another inning, then second base. And if it goes another inning, then third base. And here's my logic. Can you imagine if Fernando were on third base in extra innings and he stole home? I mean, I'm wondering why the Ghost Runner doesn't try to steal third in this instance. But I think that if by doing that, by doing that rotationary thing, like, I think it kind of answers your question about like, why is it that, the home, in the 10th inning, the home team has the advantage because they're in second and, he's in scoring position already. See what I'm saying? And I think that if it goes past third base, like another inning, then you have first and second. And then if it goes past that inning, then second and third. And if it goes past that inning, load the bases.
I don't mind. Well, I understand where you're coming from, Dexter. I appreciate the phone call. I don't know why I didn't bring this up on the round table. One of my friends brought this up a couple years ago. Not a bad idea. You put a runner on first in extra innings. And again, it's not an extra inning problem. This is not why the Padres lost last night, because the extra inning rules are dumb, because Rob Manfred's just whatever. If you put the runner on first, now listen to this, Frank. If you put a runner on first, you have to get a hit to drive him in.
Okay.
You have, unlike last night where you didn't get a hit to drive him in. You can't just sacrifice him all the way over. You have to, at some point, either steal a base or get a hit to get him in.
I can see that being fair.
I think that's more fair. I mean, it's not like high school softball or high school baseball, international tiebreaker, where it's more difficult for younger players to get. I mean, these are professionals. Now, the Padres didn't do it last night, so it is what it is. But putting a guy on first to start the inning, you can get him over to scoring position, you can get him 90 feet away on sacrifices, but eventually at some point, he's either going to have to steal a base or he's going to have to get a hit to drive in a run. That makes more sense to me than just putting him on second. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's certainly something you could look at. Honestly,
Do you like it or not? I mean, that's where we at with this. Yes or no, Frank? I need an answer. We're making the decision right now. Yes or no?
I don't dislike it. I will say that. I think it needs to be tweaked a little bit more. But
Like
I
what?
Don't...
What do you tweak about the runner on first instead of second? Do you like Dexter's hierarchy?
I do like Dexter's hierarchy a little bit more than that, because it's you still have to work in that 10th inning. 11th inning is like, okay. 12th inning is like, okay, we got to go home. Like, seriously, we got to start getting home now. I think I like Dexter's playing more, if I'm honest.
I don't like. Now you're making it super gimmicky with all the other thing. I mean, then you go bases loaded. It's already gimmicky enough.
Well, no, I mean, if you
I think
can't-
a compromise.
I'm sorry, but if you can't end the game with a runner on third base, I'm sorry, you don't deserve to play any more game ends at a tie.
The Detroit Lions have kicked the field goal. Or they're about to.
It's not. It's
Now
not
9-0.
good.
This is game one of a doubleheader, correct?
Yes, it is.
Oh, man.
It's going to be a long day in Rocky Land.
I'm not upset about that.
We
could do the home run derby for extra innings. That might be GSDP's best idea he's ever had. He doesn't have too many great ideas.
Is he like me, the one a month?
Yeah, one. Hey, you know what? GSDP in the chat, he has his Xander moments, but every once in a while, he's got a decent comment in there. Every once in a while. Now, I Need Money's not doing a good job of moderating the chat. I put him in charge of that weeks ago, and he lets some hooligans run loose in there. But I will say, he does come up with some things every once in a while. That's not bad.
We need to come up with a contestant for the mid-game sports standoff.
When we come back, we're going to play the midday sports standoff. If you want to jump in line, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Take me down in trivia. Win an opportunity to go see Bruno Mars in Vegas. It's that simple. Frank will have that when we come back. Final hour of the Braden Surprenant Show, standing as #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
100% online process.
Ball Pierce walked for 7 hours to the Fox studio barefoot in a robe because he put his foot in his
Find
mouth.
the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED.
Hot mics.
All right. I had to reset the StreamYard. Hopefully our lip sync's back up and running. That's incredibly annoying. I apologize for that. Sorry you guys have to deal with that. It looks good on our end right now. At least from the video start.
No, it does not. Not on my side. At
Oh,
least.
really? Is it still laggy on your side?
Yeah. I've already restarted ours. Well,
still not good, Adam says.
Yeah.
Sick.
It's a fun day today.
Right. All right. Well, we got to make it through another hour. It always looks good locally, probably. Anyway. Oh, wow. I didn't see that. That's great. Did you post a picture of the you drinking out of the...
Might have done, yeah.
This is awesome. In fact, I'll share it to people right now. This is great. From earlier today. Frank enjoying himself. With the Buc-ee's gas station water bottle.
Oh, just me stealing company money again.
There you go. Love it. So Frank's is synced, but mine still isn't. Interesting.
Love to see it.
All right. Well, in the meantime, let's get to today's midday sports standoff at 1 o'clock.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant Show.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
The ultimate head-to-head battle where sports knowledge and quick thinking collide.
It's no good. Are you kidding me?
Contestants will go toe-to-toe with Braden in a sports trivia deal where every correct answer brings them closer to victory.
Down the sideline! Wow! Unbelievable!
But 3 strikes and it's game over.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Can you outsmart Braden? The Midday Sports Standoff starts now.
All right, Frank, who we got playing today?
Today we have Alex in Del Mar. Alex, how you doing today, bud?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Okay, so we've got to get somebody qualified here. At least if you can't win, at least tie.
At least tie.
We got
I'm on a little bit of a heater right now.
We've got to get somebody qualified. So we're gonna go back to the top 10 lists, and I think we're gonna do that until somebody at least gets qualified for this. So today, Padres all-time top 10 games played. Who are the top 10 players who have played the most games in a San Diego Padre uniform? Alex, you know the rules?
I do. I've played before. Thank you.
All righty. So let's get started. Alex, you have the first pick.
First pick in the draft.
Yes.
Tony
Gwynn is a
Yes.
good answer.
Braden.
Trevor Hoffman.
Number 9.
Wow, barely made it. Number 1 was Tony, right?
Yes, number
All
1
right.
was Tony. Alex.
Dave Winfield.
Really?
Winfield, number 3.
Guys that have been here for so long. Let's see. Physical games or like
Yes,
pitchers would
game.
probably be
It says
rough on
games
that.
played.
Oh, okay. Let's go with what about Steve Finley?
Steve Finley is not on the top 10 list. Alex.
I want to go Will Myers.
You want to go Will Myers? I say you want to be correct. Number 8 on the list.
Okay. God, Manny's got to be up there now. Manny Machado. Really?
Not there just
Post
yet.
every day.
Braden, you got one more strike left.
I know.
What about Chase Headley?
Chase Headley, number 6. So that's half the list gone. Braden.
All right, well, I'll go with the
right.
OG Padre, Nate Colbert.
Just snuck on number 10. Alex.
Tim Flannery.
Tim Flannery, number 4. You guys are going to make me work tomorrow, aren't you? Braden.
The new Chicago White Sox manager, Will Venable. Harvard.
Number 7.
I don't know, I think he's a Yale guy. Maybe.
Alex.
Ivy League.
Gary Templeton.
Gary Templeton, number 2. There is one left. Number 5 on the list. Braden.
It's probably, is it Gene Richards?
It is Gene Richards. The top 10 list has been complete. Alex, you have won. You are our first qualifier under my regime.
Under my regime.
Congratulations. Just hang on the line. I will get your information here in just a moment.
What's going on in the chat? So many people.
Oh,
trolling in the chat.
We have a troll, yeah.
What time should we put Mark Ziegler on tomorrow? 11 or 12:35? I put fate of our show in his hands and asked for both. I said either or, and he said
either one is good.
Either one works.
There it is.
11?
Sure,
let's do 11. We got a big show tomorrow.
We do have a packed show
tomorrow. So we got, let me text Mark back. Aztec basketball is going to be pretty good. That's why he's coming on. The new faces for the Aztecs is pretty impressive. We'll talk about that with Mark tomorrow at 11 a.m. And then coming up at noon, we will have Colorado Rocky Sean Bouchard on the show, San Diego native. So Bouchard will join us at noon.
Not having the greatest of days right at the moment.
Who, Sean or the Rockies? Or both?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought that meant both, but, you know.
I mean, Sean could be like 3 for 3. You never know. Now, I don't think he's gotten up 3 times in 4 innings when they've been shut out by the Tigers 9-0 in the middle of the 4th. Top of the 4th. I guess they got out of this. But we'll have Sean Bouchard on tomorrow. Drake Hills will join us tomorrow as well. Talk a little MLS action for you. Maybe we'll talk in some Champions League. See what he thought about the Inter Milan matchup.
Got Europa League today as well, actually going on right now.
There you go. I don't even think Bouchard's playing today.
Well, if he's not in the lineup today, right now, he'll be in the lineup
for the
tonight.
second game.
Yeah.
He's not playing in game 1.
Okay. So
and neither are the other 9 guys that are in the order. They have 1 hit right now. Brenton Doyle's got the 1 hit for the Rockies. Beck 0 for 1, McMahon 0 for 1, Goodman, Tolia, Martini, Moniak, Trejo, Aztec, Amador, all 0 for.
Not great.
Not great, Bob.
Not great. You want to hear Kyle Freeland's line?
Oh, boy.
3 innings.
How many bats did he break in the dugout?
Well, that unfortunately is not a Major League Baseball stat. 3 innings, 11 hits, 9 runs, 5 of them earned. Though.
Only 5 earned.
1 walk, 2 strikeouts. ERA is up to 6.41.
The Rockies have 3 errors, and they have played 4 defensive innings.
When you have made it almost the entirety of when you've made it to the official game point, and you still have more errors than hits, you are having a bad day.
3 errors, 1 hit, no runs.
And you have another game to play.
They still got to, yeah. Padres got into Colorado early this morning, sleeping all day. These guys are playing 2 games, and they're getting run out of the building right now by Detroit. Detroit's got the same record as the Padres. They're about to pass them in the standings right now with 2 wins probably against Colorado. Colorado's 6-29. We only have a little bit of time here, so I'm going to ask you the question that Ben asked the roundtable. And if you missed any of the roundtable, you can retune in at 5 o'clock when they re-air it. What do the Rockies, where do you go from here? What do you do? Like, if you're in charge of the Rockies, how do you make this better?
Fire everyone.
Most of us said, like, full rebuild, whatever's not tied down to the ship, throw it overboard. I mean, where do you even begin?
The only person I would keep, bless you, by the way, the only person I would keep is Bud Black, because really, you can't pin this on him.
Well, I know you can't, but eventually, I mean, he's been there for so long.
He's the only one I would keep as a calm, stable presence to lead the team going forward into this next generation. Because I don't want, for me personally, I wouldn't want a new GM, new assistant general manager, all new coaching staff, and a new manager. Just, can I have one guy stay the same? And for me, that would be Bud Black, who's probably the least responsible for all of this.
He is the least responsible, and he keeps getting dealt a insane hand. Like, every team that he got here in San Diego was rough.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I mean, how much I think you got to start from scratch.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody. You got to clean everybody out of there.
And the worst part is, it's so hard to do because you need pitching. You will never get a good pitcher to come to Colorado. Never, ever, ever get a good pitcher to come to Colorado.
Well, I liked what, no, don't fire Dinger. I'm keeping Dinger. I'm keeping the mascot. Fire everybody else, though.
Dinger's fine as long as he stops turning his head backwards behind the plate. He's fine there. But that's what you'll never get good pitching, so you got to build pitching through the draft. You got to get a bunch of power hitters.
They did that already. They've only drafted pitchers the last couple of years. They're not going to be able to find anybody that's good pitching wise. But that being said, I like what Elo said. I said you got to get rid of everybody, and then you got to go get the big boppers that they used to have.
Absolutely, yes. You have to play to that ballpark strengths, and it's not pitching.
No,
you got to find pitching wherever you can get it. Whoever would somehow want to go there as a pitcher, you got to get guys who can hit the ball 400 feet at sea level, because they'll be hitting it 600 feet up there. That's what you got to do everywhere. If you can't hit a ball 400 feet, you're not playing here. If you cannot hit 30 home runs at normal people altitude, you cannot hit here. Sorry.
Let's hope they just don't do any of that.
Well, for
the Padres just beat up on them all the time.
For the sake of the division, yes.
We'll see what they decide to do. But do you think they'll ever? No. Here's why the Rockies will never move. This is why it's not a Major League Baseball problem. The Colorado Rockies. You want to know why? Because people still go to their games.
Yes.
They don't have a stadium issue. People go. They spend money. They don't take away from the big clubs by spending money on players. They're the perfect team. I said that 2 years ago.
And
they're Rob Manfred's favorite baseball team.
And Denver's not a bad market either.
No.
It's not like they're stuck in Tacoma, Washington. They're in Denver.
A major media market that owns everything around it. All the other states that don't have professional sports.
They have one team in every sport.
Yeah, they got every sport covered.
There's no sense in them moving.
Right, they're not going to move. They do the bare minimum to get people to go there. And we had Scotty Gage on last time we played these guys. And he was like, people go to games, they have a good time at the rooftop, they have a good time at the ballpark. I mean, they have that part down. Now they got to try to start using some of that resources into building a team. But if you're a guy like Dick Monfort, why do you care in what your team does? If people are showing up, why does it matter? Why does it matter if you're good or not? People are showing up. At the end of the day, it's a business. You're trying to get people to show up to games. That's basically it.
Right, but if you're
a lot of these owners don't care about winning, dude.
Which is a problem.
It is a problem.
If you're not in it to win, you should not own the team. It is not an investment to sit on. It is
a toy.
Win.
It's a toy.
It should not be that way. That should be the first question that is ever asked. And that should be something that is in every owner deal when they're looking at these owners. Do you want to win? And you have to show some sort of effort to win within 5 years, or else ownership is taken away from you. Period. You cannot, it's not an investment to sit on. This is something that people care about. We would not have jobs if people did not care about the Padres right now.
That being said, here's what you need to have in an owner. You need to have it as the owner needs to treat the team like it's a toy, like it's a yacht. Yachts are just money pits.
They depreciate in value the second they touch the water.
Right, but people like them because they make a lot of money because they're fun, right? I mean, this is what a major sports team should be. It should be a fun toy. All of the teams that do well in professional sports are teams that are owned by owners that made their money doing something else, and this is their toy now.
Mm-hmm.
The Clippers are trying the best that they can with what they got, but they spend money, right? They do their best to spend. Steve Ballmer's out there spending money. Doesn't need the Clippers to make money. A lot of these other teams are like that too. The teams that don't do well, Spanos family, that's their main source of income. So, and the Rockies are a disaster. And hopefully the Padres, at minimum, take 2 out of 3. I'm not as worried about this series. And you know what? I've already cursed them last week on the roundtable by saying that I'm not worried about the Rockies at all. I think people just know that the Padres have done poorly there. You got to have the mindset that you're going to go in there and kick their ass. And this team is different than the previous Rockies teams. They are arguably the worst team in Major League Baseball history. And they are sprinting in that direction. What happened? Are you watching the highlights of how they gave up all the runs in the second inning?
Flailing play. Who's their shortstop today? Trejo?
The San Diego State guy?
He just he went for the full breaststroke, trying to swipe this ball over to second base, hoping to try to get a half an out. I don't know what he was doing.
We'll talk more about the Rockies preview coming up in just a little bit. We'll get you an update on the NBA and NHL playoffs. We will hear from Mike Shildt about the update on Dylan Cease. We missed all of that. A lot to get to on the Braden Surprenant shows. We have our final 2 segments on a Thursday. Sending us number 1 sports station, 97 to the Fan. This hour on 97 through the fans brought to you by Robert Half. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies want to increase contract talent. That's why our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI work quickly to find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today. We got spring ball starting on Monday, Frank. Are you ready to embark as a new member of the Don's football community?
Oh, boy.
By working with me?
Oh, boy. Sounds like fun.
We got our first practice Monday morning at 6 a.m.
I will not be there.
I'm not expecting you to.
I can promise you
I'm not
that.
going to be there. Spring ball starts Monday. We'll go 2 weeks of spring ball after school. So you start getting your Cathedral Catholic football updates as I will start my 8th season coaching high school football here in town. We're not the only ones starting spring ball. I think some schools have already started, which is super cool. So football's already back. We got the spring ball, a couple of weeks off, and then we are back in action for summer workouts in June, and all of a sudden it's go time in America's finest city. Love high school football, especially here in San Diego. Yesterday was a big day, Frank. They had they're doing these showcases now, almost like pro days.
Mm.
And so they had a bunch around the county, like certain times where they had multiple schools at one school. So like Cathedral hosted like Westview and Mount Carmel. And they brought in all these coaches from all these colleges to watch kids do basically a combine type workout.
Yeah.
And then they went to a different school. And there's a bunch throughout the area. Yesterday, saw a lot of kids getting scholarships. One of our corners got an offer from Texas yesterday.
Congratulations.
Pretty impressive. Yeah, pretty cool. To add to his Penn State and Georgia and some of the other big-time offers that he's got. It's only going to be a junior in the fall.
Go to Penn State.
My buddy's a Penn State guy. He is. Now, the guy that's getting those offers, I get to coach this year as a cornerback coach. He's not been given a TCU offer. Otherwise, that's going to be the push I have.
You got to step your game up.
That's right. Well, my buddy's trying to make me convince him to go to Penn State. I can't be doing that.
You got a producer that's going to be doing the same thing.
They can't be doing that. It's it's tampering.
As if these teams don't tamper.
I'm just saying, it's tampering. But it'll be fun to get ready for some high school football coming up. During the summertime, we'll have all our passing league tournaments, everything like that. Looking forward to it. Always the kickoff to the summer to me, always growing up, was like the San Diego State tournament, which will be happening. And they're having it on Father's Day, though. Do we not think that was bad planning?
We're not fathers, though.
I know, but I'm just saying in general. I mean, all those kids that are playing there have dads that have it's Father's Day. What are we doing on Sunday? Should be doing it's usually a Friday Saturday tournament, not a Saturday Sunday tournament. Anyway,
scheduling
doesn't
fun line
stuff.
up.
We had so
high school football needs a transfer portal. That is the last.
It basically already has a transfer portal. It already basically does that.
We're gonna stop the transfer portal nonsense.
We're gonna stop the transfer portal. Penn State's done a good job with the transfer portal. They don't lose a lot of guys. It's called culture. You know, James Franklin.
It's Penn State.
James Franklin. Yes. No.
Yeah. Yes.
Eat your chicken basket.
Yeah.
Love that. Eat your chicken basket. We need that drop, Frank. We need to add that to the repertoire.
Got it.
Go eat your bleeping chicken basket. Might have to do that.
Don't tempt me.
No. Gotta have the James Franklin the drops. I think would be ideal.
I meant to eat the chicken basket, not to make the drop.
No, you need to make the drop. The problem with the drop, it's going to make people go buy chicken baskets and yourself. That's the problem with the drop.
Undo all of this progress that I've made.
Okay, maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe that's not a good idea. You know what was a good idea yesterday? Probably not letting Dylan Cease pitch anymore. How is he doing? How is he feeling? What was the update we got last night? We will get that to you when we come back. We will also hear some more from Mike Shildt and preview a little bit of the Rockies-Padres series, dive into what happened last night in the NHL and the NBA as we go to our final segment on a Thursday on the Braden Surprenant Show on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Final segment of the Braden Surprenant show as we lead you into Gwyn and Chris on a Padres off day. Coming up at 5 o'clock, a replay of the Roundtable, Padres Roundtable, presented by Roundtable Pizza. Truly is pizza royalty. Did you dive in any of the pizza, Frank?
I have not left this chair since about 9:50 this morning.
Well, the pizza's probably going to be gone then.
Oops.
The sales staff usually takes it all after the fact.
Oh, darn.
Missed out. Want some wings with that?
I'm good, thank you.
We did see the Pope memes have been great today. And one of them being they had the Eucharist thing was like a deep dish pizza because the guy's from Chicago.
Yes.
Which led me to the it's blasphemous in its own way, but led me to the pizza conversation. I'm more New York style over. Well, I don't know why I'm asking you that question. New York over Chicago, correct?
Duh.
What about Detroit style pizza?
Huh?
Never heard of Detroit style pizza?
No.
It's like Sicilian pizza. It's like square.
Oh, yeah. Sicilian pizza's fine.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's Detroit style pizza.
No, it's Sicilian pizza. But
Well,
right.
Detroit's got a style. It's legit. You can go down to Angry Pete's down here, down the street. They get Detroit style pizza. They took over an old Taco Bell. It looks like Taco Bell, but it's got the Detroit D all over the place.
I think I've seen. Yeah, I think I've
Angry
seen
Pete's. It's the only time I've ever seen a Detroit. I've never had it. Looks pretty good. If I had to rank the pizza, it'd probably be New York, then Detroit, and then way below.
Maybe that'll
Chicago.
be a show excursion for next
To
week.
Angry Pete's.
After the show, maybe.
I mean, we're Roundtable through and through, of course, because they're a sponsor. But if we had to not have Roundtable,
I'm just saying.
maybe
It's on our own time. It's not on company
well,
time.
then just gotta give love. I'd rather have. I like New York style pizza better though.
I agree.
Like the long slice, little flop.
Long Island Mike's right up the street.
Is that a good spot?
Yes. Very.
Is that approved?
Yes, it is.
Is there any
It's
pizza
New
out here
Yorker
close to that? To New York pizza? Is that the best you're gonna get?
Long Island Mike's is good.
What about Bronx pizza?
Yes, Bronx pizza
pizza's
on
good.
Washington Street and Luigi's. There's one in Imperial Beach that is approved.
Approved from a New York
Yes.
style pizza fan.
Yes.
Okay. That's like when I was living in Texas, they had Mexican food out there. Blech.
San Diego approved.
There was not a lot. There was no San Diego approved Mexican food places. Unless I went to a sit down. I went to a sit down in San Antonio. Mi tierra.
Bless you.
Fire. Now, I was looking for a plate. I was like, I knew it was not going to be good. But I was looking at a potential place that had like Southern California style Mexican food, like a taco shop.
Okay.
I moved into Fort Worth. Like Tucson had like Sonoran style Mexican food. It wasn't very good. Whatever. In Fort Worth, like one of the first days of like move in, like kind of seeing around the area, a brand new Sombreros was opened.
Oh.
Some lady from Lakeside moved to Fort Worth and opened a Sombreros. And I was like, this is great. This could be awesome. I'm going to have to try it. This might be my fix. Since at the time they had In-N-Out in Fort Worth. They still do. So I had that if I needed it. Another reason probably why when I flew home from college, the first thing I didn't have was In-N-Out.
Yeah, because
And it was Mexican food. Because I could get In-N-Out in Fort Worth. I didn't care. So I went to the Sombreros. Had to try it. Said San Diego style Mexican food. Found out again it was a San Diegan that opened up the shop.
Okay.
Got a burrito. You got to start slow with these places. You can't just start swinging for the fences on a Cali B from the get-go.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I just saw a great chat message because this is something that us New Yorkers always say when it comes to the pizza. I only eat tacos in New York from taco shops who import their water from San Diego.
That's a good point.
That's fantastic.
Water with the pizza. I've never had pizza outside of New York that was good in comparison. But, so I go to the taco shop. You got to start slow with taco shops. You got to start with an easy one.
Yes.
Something that you can't mess up. Something that if they do mess it up, you never go back.
Mm.
So you got to go with like a carne asada burrito or like a bean and cheese. Like you can't mess up a bean and cheese. If you can't make a bean and cheese burrito, I'm sorry. Like it's hard for me to go back for round 2. You got to ease into the taco shop, especially a new one. Unless you got the good reviews from other people and you trust those people.
It's absolutely fair.
People in your inner Mexican food circle, then you can go after the Cali B early.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I went with the carne asada burrito. Because I could get a bean and cheese in Texas. I mean, you can go to Taco Bell and get a bean and cheese. I got the burrito. And I look at it. And I'm looking at the burrito and I'm like, something ain't right. Something's not right with this. There's something wrong with this burrito and I don't know what it is yet. I feel like I'm going to be disappointed. I take the first bite. The inside of the burrito, the contents of the burrito, it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm having the burrito and I'm like, this tastes like I can make it at my house. What is wrong with this burrito? It's not Tex-Mex terrible, but it's not like I remembered.
Please tell me it wasn't like some sort of microwavable something or other.
I said, what's wrong with this burrito? The tortillas. They didn't have like authentic tortillas. They had like, they went to like the store. They went to like Vaughn's or something or like Tom, back there. Tom, they had a bunch of like Mission flour tortillas. I'm like, oh, this is awful. You don't really understand. I mean, most of the burrito comes in the tortilla. The little flour on the side, on the outside. Those homemade tortillas. I was like, this is, I could not have it. Had some rolled tacos, same thing. Store-bought tortillas that they deep fried for the rolled tacos, just terrible. And that was the beginning of the end of sombreros in Fort Worth, Texas. The tortillas. I felt bad. The lady was nice. Again, San Diegan, trying to do her best. Bring San Diego Mexican food to Fort Worth. It starts with the tortilla, man. It starts with the tortilla. You can't be doing store-bought tortillas in Mexican food. Awful. It was like a Mission tortilla. Mission flour tortilla. Oh, terrible. And so from that point on, I didn't trust any Mexican food out there. I went, my 2 roommates were Mexican from San Antonio. 2 of my 3 roommates, they showed me the right spot in San Antonio. Authentic, sit down. Top 5 Mexican food place that I've been to. It's a sit-down place. And I think you got to be different. The sit-down is different than a taco shop.
Yeah.
Those are apples and oranges comparisons. From a sit-down perspective, it was pretty legit. But that was, oh man, I got hosed. So disappointing. So disappointing. It comes, the tortilla it's a lot.
Yeah.
I will say, like I had Philly cheesesteaks in Philly. I went to Geno's when I was out there. That's what they brought. No. They got better places than that. I didn't get to venture out too much. I'm not judging Philly on Geno's, but it wasn't very good. I thought Gaglione Brothers here was better than Geno's. Didn't try Pat's, didn't try Tony Luke's. I know there's a lot of better places that are not that I need to go to next time I go to Philly. But I remember having the Geno's steak and I was like, what is this, dude? This can't be the deal. It was too, and then it was catered to. Didn't give it a fair shot.
Adam Paul in the chat saying Geno's is the tourist place to go.
Yeah, it is. I would imagine. But Mona Lisa sandwiches, Rod knows ball.
Yes, Mona Lisa's downtown, Little Italy.
My family's been going there forever.
Bingo. Yep.
Go down there. I get the spicy one. I think it's the 18, if I'm not mistaken. Get the way it comes. You used to be able to change the bread. Now you don't. The rolls are good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Make sure you get the number. or the little Italian ladies down there will cut you in line. You got to get a
Yes.
number, and you got to
God,
ask,
yes.
are we taking numbers? Are we taking numbers? You know what I love? Favorite thing at Mona Lisa's is the octopus salad.
Really?
Oh, so good. Love octopus salad at Mona Lisa's down there in Little Italy.
Yep.
That's a must. That's a must. Rod gets the 18 with avocado. Can't go wrong with Mona Lisa. I don't think I've ever eaten in the or had dinner in anything in the restaurant. I've only gone to the deli.
The restaurant is really good.
I'm sure it is.
I'll give the restaurant that. It is really good. The deli there is really nice as well. Yeah, that's a place that I would 100% recommend.
Mona Lisa's for the deli sandwiches. They have the small mini ones that you could buy, pre-made. A lot of imported stuff from Italy. That's great that we get down there.
Fresh pasta too.
My grandmother gets the ricotta for some. My dad wants her to make the cannolis next year with mascarpone. She doesn't want to spend the money on the mascarpone. My dad's like, I'll pay for the mascarpone instead of ricotta. But you know what? All that comes from Mona Lisa's.
Braden Surprenant Show YouTube. Eateries of San Diego will be doing Dave Portnoy-esque tours.
We should. I'll help you guys out. Let's get to some sound from Mike Shildt from last night talking about Dylan Cease. Should be some positive news. Didn't sound like it was too bad. Here's the latest that Mike Shildt had on the injury to Dylan Cease last night.
The training staff's not overly concerned. A little bit of cramp. He evaluated. He wanted to keep pitching. First of all, let's start with the fact that he threw the ball fantastic. Legitimate no-hit stuff. It's going to be a decision about whether that was going to be a combined win or his. But, Bellinger had something to say about it. I thought he threw the ball great. And like I said, got a little cramp, felt it. To his credit, said something about it. Said he could have kept going, but didn't make sense at the moment. So we'll evaluate it, see what happens.
It looked like Dylan was flexing his hand a little bit. What is your level of relief if it is just the cramp?
Quite high. Yeah. Again, the trainer said initially he's optimistic. We've been down this road. We'll see what it looks like. Dylan wasn't overly concerned in the moment. Again, thought he could still pitch. Said something about how he felt. That was good. He was able to communicate that, got him out of there, and, literally just got the field. So it's hard for me to give you any more than that.
That decision, once you knew there was something, was a no-brainer, right?
No-brainer.
Mike Shildt talking about being a little bit extra cautious with Dylan Cease. I'm sure we'll get an update on that tomorrow when they open up the clubhouse in Colorado. Now, in terms of the decision-making on how long Cease would have gone with the no-hitter if there wasn't a little bit of a injury scare, here's what Mike Shildt had to say about that last night.
It's, you get to a certain point and you want to know, okay, he's on regular rest. He's going to get extra rest. He said, because he's throwing a no-hitter, except for the, catcher's interference, virtually no stress. He's 99 leading into the inning before. He was going to have to be under, 90 pitches and then give him a chance and be in a more of a hitter situation. Because not only are we dealing with a no-hitter in play, we got a 1-0 ball game at that point, and we've got guys in the bullpen that we have confidence in. So it was going to be a read it and react situation.
I think that was a good move for the San Diego Padres. It was about time to probably pull Dylan Cease anyway. Obviously you had the no-hitter, but you had the 1-0 situation. You got a bullpen that you believe in, regardless of how they did, the last couple of days in New York. Still believe it's a high-level bullpen for the San Diego Padres. You're going to have nights like that. It's baseball. I thought yesterday was the ultimate that's baseball game. When it came to the offense, we went through all the numbers in high leverage situations. It's a hard ask. I think the only ones really that you really feel comfortable with in those situations are Jackson Merrill and Fernando Tatis Jr. And they have proved that with some of the numbers that they've had in high leverage situations. Guys like Manny is like an average hitter with in a Padres uniform in high leverage. And guys like Xander, those guys don't need to perform every single time in those positions. Even though you would think that would be the case because of their contracts, you have to have it's a little bit different with some of these guys. You can't demand perfection. You're just going to go insane. What's our latest on? Well, I was going to get to that. We don't really we could just kind of zip through it here, Frank. Knicks beat the Celtics last night, 91-90. Celtics blew a 20-point lead twice. Back-to-back. How you feeling as a Knicks fan?
Very good. Doesn't matter now that the Knicks have lost every single game to the Celtics during the regular season.
No, it
because we've
doesn't.
beaten them twice when it matters.
That's right. Dave Portnoy says he's not worried. Celtics in 6. Well, you better start getting worried here, buddy.
Yeah, good for him.
At Madison Square Garden.
I'm not worried about Portnoy either. So
Oklahoma City beat down on Denver 149-106. They set a record for most points scored in a half of playoff basketball with 87 points in the first half. End up winning 149-106. That game last night is what Brett Siegel and company thought the Celtics were going to do, which they did not. Tonight, Golden State at Minnesota, 4 o'clock TNT. Golden State has a 1-0 lead. In the Stanley Cup playoffs last night, Maple Leafs over the Panthers in what was a thrilling game. Maple Leafs defeat the Panthers 4-3. They take a 2-0 lead in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Dallas Stars beat Winnipeg 3-2. Had a hat trick last night for the Stars. They lead the series 1-0. Carolina at Washington for game 2, 4 o'clock ESPN. Edmonton is at Vegas, 6:30. Edmonton leads 1-0. A brief look at the Rockies series. Did Randy Eastlake want to talk to us, or he wasn't there?
No, he wasn't there.
All right. Let's take a look real quick at the scouting report of the Colorado Rockies. Right now, they're down 10-1 to the Detroit Tigers. The Rockies have scored 1 run on 3 hits. They've committed 3 errors. Detroit scored 2 in the first, 5 in the second, 2 in the third, and now added in the 7th. This is game 1 of a doubleheader today. You look at the Colorado Rockies overall, and again, coming into today, they're 6-29. They're about to be 6-30. They're sprinting their way towards being the worst team in Major League Baseball history. They've done slightly better at home than they've done on the road, but still, they haven't really used Coors Field to their advantage. Ryan McMahon recently snapped a club record 0-for-35 slump with a home run off Justin Verlander in San Francisco last weekend. Over his last 4 games, he's 5-for-11 with 2 homers, a triple, 2 doubles, and 4 walks. Stepped up leadership role amid team struggles. Michael Toglia has been way better at home than on the road. We talked about this he's got the exact opposite splits of Xander Bogaerts. Bogaerts is terrible at home, and he's wonderful on the road. Same thing with Michael Toglia, just the flip-flop. He's hitting .339 at Coors Field, .575 on base, and a .593 slug with 3 home runs. On the road, Michael Toglia, .097 with a .176 on base and a .161 slug. Went 3-for-4, the home run and 2 doubles in the series finale against against game 1 of the Tigers. Defensive highlight, a diving catch, double play, save runs late and extras. Still inconsistent overall, hitting .215, but confidence is rising back at home. A lot of the pitching for the Rockies has been awful. More so today with Kyle Freeland. Kyle Freeland was rough. Didn't get a lot of help with his defense, but 3 innings, 9 runs, 5 of them earned, 11 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, 6.41 ERA. Brutal. Talk about the pizza review from Portnoy. He did rate the Filippi's one, but he didn't give it a good. Oh yeah, he didn't rate it well. Filippi's pizza is super thick though. It's like super doughy and stuff. You got to get it. You got to get the thin crust at Filippi. You got to go to the secret menu at Filippi's. Do you do that?
I don't go to Filippi's, honestly.
I go to Filippi's.
Like I said, Luigi, I would put Bronx 1, Long Island Mike's 2, and then Luigi's 3.
I like Filippi's pizza, but I got to go. You can go thin crust at Filippi's.
I did not know that.
Thin crust. Go sausage. You go meatball, sausage, onion. You go, if you do pepperoni on it, go pepperoni on top. Get a little crisp on the pepperoni. Light cheese, double cut it. I'm telling you, it change your mindset about Filippi's, dude.
If you want a pizza that's going to knock you down for a while,
well, Filippi's will put you in a coma for about 3 weeks.
So will Napoleon's in National City. That one will put you out for a while.
Now, despite all that pizza talk today,
Bronx is not overrated, John Silva. I will not accept that slander.
Handle Bronx slander. I will be going to if I'm feeling up for it. We're doing might be at Casa de Pico tonight. Out in La Mesa.
Not bad.
It's a good spot. I think it's a good spot. You know, some people get upset about, it's a good spot. I like Casa de Pico. I've been getting the same thing at Casa de Pico for the last 10 years.
Everyone's got their favorites.
Number one combo. Don't eat the whole thing. Hardly ever. It's a bean and cheese burrito, a cheese enchilada, and a crunchy taco. You know, there's something about a shredded beef taco. It's pretty good. That hits sometimes. You ever get a shredded beef taco at a taco shop?
No, I have not in a while.
So good. So good. So good.
Sometimes simple hits all of the perfect
You know what?
feels at the right time.
Felt like it. Who's hungry? Gave you a quick preview. We got a packed show tomorrow. Sean Bouchard will join us at noon. We'll have Mark Ziegler on at 11. Drake Hills at 1:35. Getting you ready for Padres and Rockies. Frank Marchese, I'm Braden Surprenant. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Gwen and Chris coming up next inning is number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan.